How's it going, everyone? Bryan here from Regular TV, and today we're taking a look at a game called Idle Hands. So this is a new release by a developer called Pocket Games. It's actually their first game ever released, and it is a god game, meaning you kind of have that top-down overview and you are literally the god of this people called Furlings, which are these guys down here at the bottom left. So we're here in the main menu. Although this is not the first screen you will see when you launch the game. When you actually launch the game, I'll overlay a little picture here because you can't actually maximize that window. You can't full screen it, even with like Windows hotkeys. It just refuses to full screen. And that is just the resolution choice, and that comes up every time you launch the game, as well as a play game button, which brings you to where we are right now. The more, I don't know if I want to say savvy, but some of you might notice that the buttons on this little launch screen are straight from the Unity 3D development software, and they're not even reskinned or anything like that. They're just kind of, you know, placed there, cookie cutter, which isn't a great sign when you're heading into a new game for the first time, but we will press on. So here is the main menu, and these are options around this wheel here. We have a settings menu over here. I actually kind of like the way they do the wheel option menus. I think it's a lot more interesting than just like a list. I like the way it kind of like rolls around. So the settings menu is pretty bare bones, as you can see here. We have credits, which I guess it's a setting. Invert, which just bolds the word invert. You can see at the bottom what it does. And audio, which is where all the settings actually are. You know, speech volume, ambient volume, effects volume, and music volume. It's not very intuitive, any of these settings menus, and they take a long time to get to. So here's our music volume, for instance. In the left, this is our volume, and these bricks represent the max volume, and there's only 4 settings. So if you hit the plus sign over here, go up to 3 and then 4, minus sign brings you down to none, and then back up to 2. We'll leave it there for now. Hit accept. I'm not really sure why they did it that way. It seems like unnecessary kind of menu scrolling or navigating through menus to try and just fix an easy setting. It could have been just a simple slider right here on the menu, or right in the settings menu right here, just a slider or something, but you know. Moving on, let's go to an actual game. So you can create a new game, you can replay previous levels you did, and you can continue. There's no multiplayer in this game, so it's all just a single player campaign of levels. I believe I'm on level 6 or so. I've put about 4.5 hours to 5 hours in this game so far. So I'm just going to continue from where I left off. And this is the loading screen. They'll have a little tip over here. Alright, and here we are. This is the name of the mission. And the first thing you'll notice in this game is the voice acting.
It looks like we've discovered one of the enemy's training grounds. If you can defeat them here, you will deal a mighty blow to the Dark God's ambitions. A small group of your Furlings has managed to sneak in undetected, but they are too few in number to survive an attack without your help.
Right, so yeah, that is the voice acting in this game. It is the only voice acting in this game that I've encountered so far. It is the same guy that kind of talks for a while at the beginning of every mission. And, I mean, everyone obviously can just judge for themselves. Personally, I find it pretty low quality of a recording. Not even necessarily like a stylistic low quality, but more just technically. Like it might be hard to hear over the recording. I'm not sure. I mean, it isn't high quality recording, but when you're in the game, it's very clear. You can hear the breaks between sentences where they very clearly like went to a new recording session. Like you can hear when the voice switches or like has more bass or more treble between, like maybe the voice actor took the day off and then they kind of just mixed these sentences together from like different weeks of recording. It's very jarring when you're hearing it and when you notice it. But moving on, here is our village. If you look at the mini-map at the top right, you can see the yellow dots kind of represent our border of our village, and the blue dots are our buildings and our Furlings. And these are all friendly. And if we go up here, this is the enemy village. Oh, what's going on? My game just locked up. That was weird. My game just locked up for 5 seconds or so. That's never happened before. Anyway, this is the enemy village. You can tell by the red dots, and the yellow dots again represent their border of their village. The score at the top is continuously counting down, and it always seems to start at some random arbitrary number. It's not the same number every time, and it always just counts down this fast, so I'm not really sure what they're trying to tell me. The score doesn't seem to really matter at all. When you beat the level, it doesn't show your score, I don't believe, at least not as I recall. Anyway, our main objective here is we have a few things on our screen. So the first thing to the left is our mana pool, which is this long bar up here. And we have someone, yeah, I don't know if you just saw that, but we have someone kind of like rotating this bar, I guess like supposed to be like pumping up our mana. They explain it as like they're worshiping you as a god. And every once in a while, he or she or it will kind of let gas out. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not the target audience for that kind of thing. It seems kind of weird to me to include when there's so many other things like that could have been included. It just seems like, I don't know, hit or miss, I guess. I'm not really into that kind of thing. This is our mana pool though, and you can tell it's almost at the top here, and we spend mana in a variety of different ways as a god. We have different abilities which are shown here with the icons, so we can actually modify the terrain here, so we can lower it, which is what that little thing is telling you, and that'll cost mana. I lowered it a little bit, our mana pool. And we can flatten it, which is the thing I pretty much use all the time. I never really lower or raise it. If you press F, it'll just flatten it to a good same altitude as your current village, which allows your villagers to expand the village. So if you just press F, it will flatten all these mountains and raise all these valleys to give you a nice bigger area, and your village will automatically expand. These yellow dots on the minimap and these little posts will automatically get moved further as you have more flattened land around you. So that's our mana, at least the terrain. We also have some other abilities here. So the first one is rain, which I can't, there's no hover, so it won't say the name, you'll have to take my word for it. The raindrops, that's something that this game really lacks, is as far as UI, there's no like hover or interaction with the mouse unless you click something. So like even if I had no idea what any of these were, and it actually took me a couple levels to realize that I had to click them to see what it was. So like, oh, this is how many farmers I have. And then to get rid of this, you click the name, and you have to do that for each one. So this is our woodcutters. Over here is our blacksmiths, our soldiers, and our priests. You'll notice every time I click off a title or a label here, my cursor goes to the center of the screen, and that's not me doing that. It's that whenever you right click or left click, just anywhere, your cursor always gets centered to the very center of your screen. And that's something that makes the movement really annoying. I'm not going to harp on the movement too long because even the developers realized it's not good at all, because they have actually made a post on the Steam page from the official developer account stating that they're going to update a lot of the stuff having to do with movement in the near future. So I'm not going to spend too much time going over it, but rest assured right now it's very terrible. To rotate, you hold right click and move up and down to go right and left. There's actually no right and left. It just seems like a weird, I don't know, it seems like a weird option to include. Anyway, so that covers some of the overlay there. So we have 3 or 4 or 5 people. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people we can make. And you make all of your units from this area right here. So if we click this gear icon, this is our unit creation menu. So here we have our farmer, which costs 3 wood, our woodcutter, which has no cost, and our blacksmith, which costs 6 wood. Now the other 2 are grayed out because we don't have the resources. We need iron for those 2. In order to get iron, we need to make blacksmiths. So I'll do that right now. You click that and it transforms a nearby, I guess, unemployed Furling into a blacksmith. And we'll leave this, and the blacksmiths will go to a iron deposit, which I'm trying to find here. Oh, here's one right here. So we actually need to lower the ground around this. Okay, I accidentally, oh gosh. Okay, I accidentally lightninged. I did not mean to lightning there. But that's the lightning move. That's the second thing on the bar here, is lightning. That's usually used on people that you don't want to live, not your own villagers, but accidentally pressed the L key instead of the P key. So the P key lowers the terrain. I actually think it's pretty cool. It leaves like a handprint in the ground like you're just a giant god. I think it's a pretty cool touch. Anyway, the iron deposits over here. Oh no, I've actually hurt my guys. The iron deposits are what your blacksmiths will go to and kind of harvest some of this iron. Oh my goodness, so that was the other god. So the other god over here, I should say by the way that this is the current level I'm on. I've never actually played this level yet, and the last one was pretty difficult, so I might not beat this level in this video. You know, I might fail this because I'm spending a lot of time talking and not really working on the objective here. Anyway, let's make some more guys here. So let's get some more farmers because we are maxed in our food. We are eating 12 food and we only have 10 to supply. So every time you make a farmer, they will make a farm. And the only limit on farms is that you need land for the farm. So these little, I don't know what they are, these little like rock gardens, it's showing you where they're going to make the next building. And you can see our village just expanded with all these posts around here. So really you just want to be constantly spending your mana on flattening the land, which will allow you to expand your village and give you more land to farm on. Wow, it's actually really far over this way. In addition to expanding your village, you also want to... Oh gosh, they're already sending warriors over here. Okay. These guys are not playing around. This is definitely a jump up from the last mission. I might actually jump into another mission if we get wrecked here. But I will lightning that guy. Or I will miss. That's what lightning is supposed to do, is you're supposed to use it defensively there. So here is the combat in the game. We have an enemy warrior kind of... Oh... I got earthquaked. So earthquake is the final move in your mana bar at the very top left. You can see it right here. And every time you do that, it kind of enters that cinematic mode. And I guess when the other god does it to you, it does the same thing. So here we have two of their warriors kind of hurting one of my unemployed Furlings, which I don't think is very nice. So I'm going to make a warrior pretty soon here. We have 2 iron and we need more wood. Let's see. I'll make some more woodcutters in the meantime. I'm not sure what's going to be built over here, but something pretty soon. We'll repair that land by flattening it. Alright, we got a lot of stuff coming up here. Gosh, this guy's brutal. This difficulty ramped up really fast, I have to say. I think I'm going to restart this level, because I spent a lot of time at the beginning of the level just explaining stuff and not actually doing my civic duty as a god. So you really want to right away start creating units, obviously, like any kind of top-down art. Oh no, we need to hear the voice acting again. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, just try to ignore him. There's actually no way to get him to talk.
If you can defeat them here, you will deal a mighty blow to the Dark God's ambitions. A small group.
Yeah, I can't stand this guy. Anyway, so you want to start creating units right away, and you might be wondering, how do you make units, right? Well, you go to this gear, like I said the first time, this is where all your unit creation takes place, but what does it cost? Well, the woodcutters are free, right? So why don't I just make 1,000,000 of them? It's because you spend an unemployed Furling in order to make each one of these. So I only have 1 Furling that's currently unemployed, and they'll just kind of gradually come back. There's nothing you can really do to increase that rate. You can see another one just came in right now, and they will kind of hover around this area, and you can turn them into specialists, such as woodcutters and farmers and blacksmiths and all this stuff. So I'm currently low on food, so I'll make 2 more farmers here. And actually 3. And I will give them some fresh land to farm on. Flatten some land around the area. Maybe over... Maybe over that way. And I really need to try and get some warriors as fast as possible this time, because last time I was not prepared at all for the other army. So I'm going to get that iron deposit up and running, and make some blacksmiths here. Now, there's another limit in addition to these little unemployed Furlings. So your woodcutter, you can only ever have 10 woodcutters. So I have 7 right now, so you can only make 3 more, and that's your max for the game. Your warriors also, I was going to say they have a max of 10, which they have always had until the last mission. I believe the objective was to make more, so there might be a way to make more than 10. We'll do that this time, and we'll see. I'm going to make some more woodcutters. Ooh, I need more farmers. So the red number is how much food we're eating, and the black number is how much we're producing. I feel like it should be reversed, but maybe I'm just weird. So you want that in the green. They really beat that into you the first like few tutorial missions. They're like, make sure you have enough food, make sure you have enough food. They don't ever explain why, and I don't know if anything bad has ever actually happened for me not having enough food, but I just kind of follow what they say and make sure to have enough food. Anyway. Let's make another blacksmith here. Oh! Okay, warrior. Get at least one warrior to kind of defend us. I can show you the combat. So here's our first warrior. It's looking good. And the way combat works in this game is you can't actually select any of your units, right? Because every time you click or left click, your mouse is brought to the center of the screen here. So what you do is you just press T. That's to flatten the land right there, but you press T wherever you want them to go, and that puts down a totem with the Hearthstone logo on top of it. Seriously though, have you guys, am I crazy here, or is this not the exact Hearthstone logo? I'll put it on the screen so you guys can compare and let me know what you think. Pretty close, huh? Anyway, you press T to put down a totem, and that's kind of like the rally point for your units, and they'll automatically head to that totem. So if it's, you know, in your base, they'll kind of just defend the area. You can put it in their base, and they'll all go over there and attack. And that is the complete control you have over your army. You can't do any kind of micromanaging whatsoever other than just moving this totem around. And they will all kind of rally there when they're created. So let's make a couple more here. Well, first, let's make 2 farmers and then some warriors. So you can see we're building some new buildings here pretty soon. Got a lot of plots sorted out. I think this guy's going to build this one right here. Is he? Yeah, he's going to make a farm, I believe. You don't have enough farms. Yeah, okay, I'm working on it. So, the mini-map, if you say I wanted to go and look over here, I could click here, but it doesn't actually, I don't want to say work, but it doesn't work the way you might expect it to. So when you click in the mini-map, instead of bringing you to where you clicked, it kind of brings you to this outer world, or super high up mode, and you do this weird click and then drag to like move around the map, and then in order to get back, you click on the minimap. Wait, how do I get back? Where to get? See, this is why I don't use the minimap. It's okay. I right clicked and that got me back down to the ground. So pretty much just don't use the minimap or anything other than looking at. There's no good way to control that. Gonna flatten some land around here. So, what are these other 2 buttons? This one cycles between, it's hard to tell you because, again, you can't click them and see an explanation or any kind of label. You just kind of click them and they go because there's no really UI set up for labels. What this does is it cycles between your totem, where you last were, like where you just last were in the world, and your unit creator. This opens your unit creator, and I honestly don't know what this one does. I think this one might place your totem. Yeah, it does. So instead of pressing T, you can press that to place your totem down. I'm going to have my guys rally at the front lines over here to defend from any incoming attacks. And I'm going to make some priests. So priests are the last unit you can make, and they do a couple things. They actually seem kind of overpowered, to be honest. The first thing they can do is they can mind control any incoming invaders. So if they're like up on the front line here and someone comes and attacks us, like a warrior from the red squad up there, they can actually turn them onto our side, which is pretty cool. The other thing they can do is they raise our mana regeneration. So I'm actually full, which is pretty bad. So I'm going to spend some of this mana on an earthquake, and I'm going to destroy. Ooh, this is good. These all close together. I'm going to destroy hopefully all these buildings here and really set them back. And this is actually where the game shines. I'm not sure if it's really apparent, but overall this game hasn't blown me away. But this is definitely one of the best parts of the game, is using your god powers on each other, and this is the reason that I think that it'd be a really fun multiplayer game, because just the idea of like smiting your enemy's buildings with lightning or causing an earthquake under like all their unit producing facilities is just kind of satisfying. I will have lightning. Okay, I have lightning right now, so let's see, what building should I take out? Is this a blacksmith building? Yes, it is. So if I take this out, they will not be able to produce iron, at least not from that building. So that is helpful. Our villages are getting pretty close here. You can see in the map our borders are getting pretty close. And I'm just expanding like a madman. Oh gosh, he's attacking. Alright, let me make some more guys here. Send them to the front lines. Oh, what? Why'd I bring me back over here? Okay. Make sure the totem's over here. it said the enemy's attacking, but I don't see like an invasion force of any sort. Oh, I got lightninged over there. Alright, let me make some more woodcutters. So that is the maximum amount of woodcutters you can have, is 10. So as soon as I have another unemployed furling, I will show you. I will demonstrate that point. Oh, is this the enemy totem? I believe this is the enemy totem, so you can see where his units are rallied to come and where mine are rallied to go. I have 6 warriors, so if I get a few more, I think I'm going to start attacking his base. But first you can see here that you can't make woodcutters because it's maxed at 10. And the reason I keep bringing that up is because it's so weird to me. It's like, I don't understand, because I believe that the warriors are also maxed out at 10 or 15. They were definitely 10 for almost every level except for the last level. So we'll see if that's still the case here. And I just don't understand. I mean, that's such a low number, you know, and with the fact that you can't micro them at all, each like specific unit has such a low value to you. I don't understand the thought process of limiting that. The only thing I come up with is, since this game is made within the Unity engine, maybe, I don't know, maybe they just didn't optimize it. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not going to pretend to know what goes into optimizing the game, but that's the only reason I could think to limit it at such a low number. I don't believe it could be due to a gameplay decision, but perhaps it was. Alright, so our buildings are getting very close here. This has actually never happened to me before, so our villages are actually overlapping, so we do some aggressive earthquakes over here. That was lightning. I'm awful at this game. Yes, there we go. Burn! Burn! Alright. Got a little overzealous there. And we have 7 warriors. I believe this will make 10. And I think we're ready to attack now. So, I'm going to set my totem over here, kind of at our forward operating base. And I'm going to do some strategic lightning strikes to harm whatever he's working on. That looks like a priest building over there. And I don't know if I ever went over it, but the rain here is the cheapest kind of power you get. And that just makes your crops grow faster, but I haven't actually noticed it do anything, so I just don't use it. My village is looking pretty nice, though. These are all priest huts that increase our mana regeneration. These are the farms. Not sure what these little huts are. And then we have blacksmith stuff somewhere. Right there? No, it's a farm. Alright. I think it's time to move in. Where are my guys at? They're taking their time. I'm going to flatten the land to give them an easier kind of way to get over here. The terrain modification, the flatten does work pretty well. The heighten and lower are cheaper, but they're still not worth using in my opinion. I mean, you have to use them to get the iron out of the ground sometimes, but other than that, they're really not as effective and hardly ever useful in my experience. Now we got some fighting going on here. So when they fight, they kind of auto attack each other, and you see their hearts above it. And it takes so long. It takes... Oh, the other guy just flattened the earth there. It takes a really long time to fight. Like... I gotta be honest, I find it pretty dull. There's not much exciting about this fighting process. Other than the fact that you hope, due to the AI just kind of pathfinding on its own based on the relative like distance of your totem, that you'll have 2 guys versus their 1 in any encounter, and that's pretty much the strategy that goes into the combat in this game. They also make this annoying shrieking sound, which I'm sure you've heard 100 times now so far. Let's do some more strategic earthquakes right here. Alright, there we go. That wasn't too bad. Looks like I killed that guy. And, oh, we got someone on the front lines up here. Yeah, your soldiers are just impossible to track because they're all over. I mean, my totem's right here, but I think they just kind of, like, do their own thing. I mean, I think it just depends, like, if your totem's in your territory, then maybe they'll kind of hang on your territory. I'm not sure. You really have to get used to the fact that you have no control over your army and just kind of do your job as a god and keep making more people to fill up the spots. So we did get more than 10 soldiers, so that's important to note. I guess We'll see what the limit is. I'll keep making more. It was 10. But if for some reason there's no limit now, then that is a very good thing. You don't have enough farms. Okay, I'll make more farms. You have 1 farmer per farm, so every time you make a farmer, they will go make a farm, assuming you have the land. Wow, I just filled in that entire ditch. Okay. Alright, let's do an earthquake. Ooh, right here, get these two priest huts. These screams are just ridiculous. Okay, so here we got some combat going on. And at this point, it's obvious that I've won, I imagine. I mean, I don't know if I could really lose at this point. My village size is just so much bigger. I have more fighting units, and they're closer to his front line than to my important buildings back in the back here. I have enough mana to do another strategic earthquake here. And the reason I'm saying this is you get to a point in the game where you have progressed far enough to kind of beat the challenge, right? So like on some levels the challenge is like, oh, you need to fill in the gap between the 2 islands before you can attack, right? And in this one, you need to amass a big enough army because you're really close to them. And at a certain point you realize like, okay, I've done what I need to do, and now it's just a matter of waiting an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes for these guys to just slowly work down the enemy. And I don't find it that appealing or exciting. Let's make some more warriors here. I am losing some people on the front line, so put another earthquake down there. Trying to disrupt his production. Although, again, if food doesn't do anything, I'm not saying it doesn't, but if it doesn't, then killing these farms isn't really doing anything for me. Let's do a lightning strike somewhere. I could lightning all these guys, but I don't really want to do that. I will do lightning here. What was that noise? Oh, he rained on his crops to make them grow faster. Alright, fair enough. So at this point the game becomes kind of just refilling your army when you have enough iron, and you know, you don't control anyone. I guess I can move my totem up here, although my guys are already way past that, so not really sure what control the totem has over it. I can't get over how similar this is to Hearthstone. Bananas to me. Can't believe it. All I see when I go around, maybe people that don't play the game or like don't play Hearthstone won't recognize it, and maybe I just seem like a crazy weirdo because I'm saying it looks like that, but to me it looks dead on. And it's definitely not a major gripe of the game. It's just, it's so weird. It's such a weird thing to have. Okay, his totem is now back here instead of at our base, so I believe that means that he is on the defense. Yeah, he moved his totem from our base over there, so he is now having his warriors just kind of sit back and defend. I don't think that's going to help him that much. I think we are going to overwhelm him, and I'm going to earthquake him right here. So, since these guys are just kind of mindlessly kind of go forward and do their own thing while I regenerate the army, I guess we can talk about some of the other stuff. So, as I said at the beginning, this is the first game ever by Pocket Games. And it kind of, in a lot of ways, it kind of shows, to be honest. There are sections of this game that I think are really cool. Like, I think the whole terrain modifying is a cool idea. It could have been implemented a little bit better. As you can see here, I mean, you know, then you're just kind of getting picky, but I think it probably could have been put in better. Like the textures pop every time you do it around the edges, and also the plants like slowly minimize until they eventually disappear, which is just kind of weird. I don't know. I think it's a cool idea though. I also think the god powers are really fun. That's definitely the best part of this game. That's what it has going for it, is the fact that you can just kind of like go over here and be like, oh, cool hut. Well, guess what? Now your entire farm is on fire. That's the most satisfying part of this entire game, is just kind of raining down destruction. And that's what a god game should be, right? Especially like an aggressive god game. Like From Dust is probably one of my favorite arcade games of all time, and that is the god game on the Xbox Live Arcade. It was on the 360, and that one you're just helping people. So you're just helping your villagers. So you never had the opportunity to like cause lightning strikes or earthquakes. So it's pretty cool to get to do that in this game. Yeah, I like it. So there are a few things this game has going for it. I think that what it comes down to is there's so many good ideas in this game. Like the entire concept is really cool. I think it was just the execution fell short in a lot of ways, especially technologically. When I'm looking at like the programming, that wasn't me by the way, that was the other god that just raised that hill. I don't know if you saw that. I'm looking at like the UI and like how ridiculous it is to have to click everything, and there's no kind of interaction. Like just even like a little glow effect when you hover over it, it seems like the idea was there, and whoever like designed this game on the whiteboard, you know, like if they came up with meetings, like the developers like had meetings on a round table and they're like, oh, this would be really cool, you know, it shows that there's a lot of good ideas, but it seems like maybe the budget just wasn't there for enough fidelity to kind of pull off these things that they tried to do, and it ends up making the game feel kind of cheap in the end. I got an achievement, Quaking Mad. Okay, I believe that's killing 10 people with an earthquake. Or killing 10 huts with an earthquake. I'm gonna lightning strike somewhere. That's pretty cool. So how are we doing here? So again, these guys are just slowly fighting. I'll put the little tiki way up there and make some more warriors. And now it's pretty much the waiting game. I still can't get over this person farting in the bottom left. Every like few seconds I like look at it, I'm just like, ugh. I don't know why I'm so bothered by it. It could be me. Maybe people think it's, you know, funny addition. Maybe I'm a weirdo. We have all this open land up here, and our border doesn't seem to be expanding at all. I find that sometimes the border won't expand unless you like actually expand it all the way around, or give it like a huge buffer around other parts instead of just the area you're trying to expand to, like up here. So we'll see if that works. Let's make some more warriors or soldiers. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's just slowly kind of lifting up and lowering hills on his side. I don't know if it's actually doing anything for him. Okay, it looks like my guys are overwhelming the opposition here. So pretty soon we should be able to take out the rest of his buildings. Just brutal, it's burned to death, oh my gosh. 63 wood. I wish there was a faster way to spend your resources, because when you have a backlog, excuse the pun, of 63 pieces of wood, and you can only spend 4, a maximum of 5 at a time depending on how many unemployed furlings you have, there's no way to keep up with the maximum that you could be spending, and there's nothing else you could do with the wood. It just kind of sits there. So you're stuck just with all these resources that you can't spend, which doesn't inherently hurt you in any way. It's just, you know, there's no reason for it. There should be, at least I imagine that the game could be improved if there's more ways to spend your resources. I think that'd be a good addition to make. Or at least remove the limit on how fast you can create units and how many you can create. Alright, how are we going over here? Alright, so I got a lot of guys over here, and they are just taking down the red furlings. He's still shifting little hills around. That's what he does. You can see in the minimap just the enormous disparity between the size of my village now and the size of his village. And it is slowly going to shrink more as I earthquake this. I don't have enough for an earthquake yet, but I will soon. I wonder if I should make more priests to get mana faster. Priest is 2 iron and 8 wood. but I can't make it. So there's another limit, 5 priests. And it doesn't actually tell you that. There's nowhere it says you get to 5 priests. It's just that you can't buy it anymore, so you're left to assume that that's all you can make. Because you reached you've met the requirements for the resources, just won't let you make them. Definitely not handled well there. Make some more soldiers then. And I have enough for an earthquake now, so let's go ahead and place that right over here and try and... Oh gosh, I hope my guys don't get hurt. I think they did get hurt. Yeah, they got hurt a little bit. Oh well, necessary sacrifices. This village is now very, very puny. And I'm going to lightning this far hut up here. Kind of recede the borders even more. Make some more farms. Make one more farm, I guess. So I can make... Is that another limit? 3 wood? Yep. That's another limit. So, 10 farmers. 10 woodcutters. 5 priests. More soldiers now. It seems like they might just arbitrarily change the amount of all the units they can make every game and not tell you what the maximum amount is. So I guess we'll just make whatever we can afford, or whatever to let us. Although maybe I shouldn't because I've reached the maximum farmers. We'll see. Alright, so now it's just a matter of strategical lightning strikes to end this game. Take out those 2. Take out this one. And this border should shrink considerably from that. Our iron production isn't that great. It's taking us a while to get iron. I'm just gonna let you guys listen to the beauty of this combat for a second. Yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking with these annoying noises between the voice acting and the constant squeals. It's like maybe if there was like multiple different squeals, it could happen, you know? Like you need like a 33% chance of each to occur, but it just seems like every time they get hit, for them to emit the same squeal between 18 soldiers gets annoying very fast and grating on the ears. I'll lightning strike this last building, and hopefully that should bring us to victory, if not close. Let's take a gander at my great village over here since we're about to win. It says you need more flat land, but again, they refuse to expand to certain areas despite there being land available. I'll try and beef it up over here. See if that helps. Looks like my border just kind of... Okay. We won! Let's listen to what he has to say.
Without their training grounds, the enemy forces will be greatly weakened.
Great, I'm a winner. And here's my score, I guess, and here's the time taken. You can replay, you can continue to the next level, but I'm going to go back to the main menu here, and I think we're going to wrap this up. So, this is Idle Hands. It is on Steam right now for, I believe, $16.99. If not, I will put something in this video telling you the correct price. I am 99% sure that is the price. $16.99, or your regional equivalent on Steam. It is, in my opinion, an excellent idea and a collection of excellent ideas that just has a distinct lacking in execution on a technological level that kind of break the game for me in a way that I would not consider playing any further than I did to create this video. But, you know, some people might be able to look past that. Some people might like the features of this game more than the limitations, and that is definitely for you to decide. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Raid Leader TV.